If you go and hope you are well and having a wonderful day, welcome to another session of learning Levantine Arabic with me. This is Ibrahim with you. In today's session, we'll be learning some phrases to use when wondering what has happened regarding an incident or an event that you come to witness. Could be friend, family, or anybody, and you're just wondering or trying to maybe to check up on them and to cheer them up. So we've got a number of phrases. I won't give you any examples, but I'll give you the phrases, and the phrases are self-explanatory. Obviously, when you throw in a phrase, you need to follow up with maybe more chat or conversation. So here we're going to learn 14 and a little bit more phrases to help you with your Arabic. As always, if you're enjoying these sessions and find them helpful or entertaining in any form of shape, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, as it helps the channel and this video quite a bit. And you're feeling a little bit more generous, then don't forget to support the channel, as it will help towards making more videos for everybody. Many thanks in advance. Let's start. The first phrase, شو القصة? شو القصة? شو القصة? What's the story? What's the matter? شو القصة? So you would use this when you come to witness an incident or something that has happened. You could say شو القصة? شو, which means what. القصة is the story or the matter. Sometimes we'd follow up, we would say big she, are you okay? Big she, are you okay? And that's for masculine. Big she, are you okay? And if you're talking to feminine, you would say Bicky she, Bicky she, Bicky she. So pretty much same as the verb to cry, like Bicky, Bicky. But I didn't want to write it that way so you don't get confused, or what did you write a verb. And again, this is very Lebanese, so however people will always understand it, so it's not just Lebanese, people would always understand it in the area. If you find big she a little bit difficult, you could use an alternative, something we've used previously. You could say fik she, are you okay? Fik she, are you okay? And if you're talking to feminine, all you need to do is to replace the first one. So you'd say fiki she, fiki she, fiki she. So if we say it all together, شو القصة? fiki she, what's the matter? Are you okay? And if you're talking to masculine, you would say شو القصة? فيك she, شو القصة? فيك she, what's the matter? Are you okay? And that was our first phrase. The next phrase is سلامة قلبك يا رب. سلامة قلبك يا رب. سلامة قلبك يا رب, which means I hope you're okay. But the literal translation, as we know, so salame, which means health or to stay safe. Qalb is heart. So obviously, the heart is the epicenter of our functioning body. So I hope your heart is okay. Ya Rab, oh God, or Allah. So Salamat Albak Ya Rab, I hope you're okay. Salamat Albak Ya Rab. And obviously, if you're talking to feminine, all you need to do is to change the ending from ak to an ek if you're addressing a female or feminine or a girl. So you'd say Salamat Albik Ya Rab. Salamat Albik Ya Rab. So to masculine, you'd say Salamat Albak Ya Rab. And to feminine, سلامة قلبك يا رب. Or third phrase, بعيد الشر عن قلبك. بعيد الشر عن قلبك. And that is if you're talking to feminine. The overall translation, I hope you're okay. But the literal translation, it might be sometimes untranslatable. بعيد, which means I hope it stays away. الشر, which means evil or the evil eye. عن, of. قلبك, your heart. Meaning, may the bad or the evil to stay away from your heart. So that is the literal word-for-word translation. But the overall translation, it means, I hope you're okay. بعيد الشر عن قلبك. And if you're talking to masculine, all you need to do is to change the possessive or ownership pronoun from an ek to an ak. So you would say بعيد الشر عن قلبك. بعيد الشر عن قلبك. Our next phrase. شوفي مالك على بعضك. شوفي, what is it? What's happening? شوفي, what's happening or what's the matter? مالك على بعضك, you're not yourself. مالك على بعضك. مالك على بعضك, you're not yourself. So something has happened and the person you've seen or you've witnessed, she looks completely different or this is something unlike her. So you would say شوفي مالك على بعضك. مالك على بعضك. And obviously, if you're talking to masculine, you need to change the possessive pronoun from an ek to an ak. So we ended up saying شوفي مالك على بعضك. مالك على بعضك. شوفي مالك على بعضك. Our next phrase. شو الخبر؟ شو الخبر؟ قلقتني. قلقتني. شو الخبر؟ قلقتني. شو الخبر? What's the matter? What's the news? That's the literal translation for it. شو الخبر؟ قلقتني. I'm worried about you. And that is if you're talking to masculine. قلقتني. قلقتني. قلقتني, which means I am worried about you. And if you're talking to feminine, all you need to do is to change the verb here. So you would say شو الخبر؟ قلقتيني. شو الخبر؟ قلقتيني. قلقتيني. شو الخبر؟ قلقتيني. Oh, next phrase. شو صار؟ المهم أنت سالم. شو صار؟ What has happened? شو صار؟ شو صار؟ شو صار? What has happened? The literal and the overall translation for that. المهم, the most important thing. أنت, you, سالم, which means okay or safe. And if you change it to feminine, you would say شو صار؟ المهم أنتي سالمة. سالمة. شو صار؟ المهم أنتي سالمة for feminine. شو صار؟ المهم أنتي سالمة. And that is basically we changed the subject pronoun to أنتي and the adjective instead of Salem became Salme, as we know how to change an adjective from masculine to feminine. Our next phrase. أنتِ منيحة؟ أنتِ منيحة؟ Are you okay? الله يجعلها أكبر المصايب. Allah, which means Allah, يجعلها, makes it, أكبر, biggest, largest, المصايب, مصايب, which means calamity. أنتِ منيحة? Are you okay? الله يجعلها أكبر المصايب. And that is if you're addressing a female. And if you're talking to masculine or guy, you would say أنت منيح. أنت منيح. Are you okay? أنت منيح. Are you okay? And the phrase below stays as it is. Does not change. الله يجعلها أكبر المصايب. Our next phrase. شكلك مو مبسوط. شكلك مو مبسوط. شكلك, you seem, you look. مو, which means not. مبسوط, happy. You look bit down or you don't seem happy. So something has happened and you're trying to check. شكلك مو مبسوط. And that's for masculine. For feminine, you would say شكلك مو مبسوطة. شكلك مو مبسوطة. شكلك مو مبسوطة. Versus شكلك مو مبسوط for masculine. Our next phrase. فرضا. فردا. Or if you're talking to female or feminine, you would say فرديها. فرديها. مو مستاهلة القصة. مو مستاهلة القصة. So if you're talking to a guy, you would say فردا, cheer up. مو مستاهلة القصة, it's not worth it. The issue, the topic or the matter, what's happening, it's not worth it. So مستاهل means worth it. مو مستاهل is not worth it. And القصة, it means the story, the matter, the issue, the topic. So if you're talking to masculine, you'd say فردا مو مستاهل القصة. فردا مو مستاهل القصة. And if you're talking to feminine, you would say فرديها مو مستاهل القصة. So as you see, we're only changing the first two verbs. So فردا for masculine, فرديها for feminine, and the phrase below stays as it is. Our next phrase, ارفع راسك. ما محرزة القصة. ارفع راسك, chin up. ما محرزة, it's not worth it. القصة, the topic, the story, the matter. So that's if you're talking to a masculine, you would say ارفع راسك, chin up. Lift your head up. ارفع, lift. راس is head. راسك, your head, masculine. ما محرزة is not worth it. القصة, the issue, the topic, or the story. And if you're talking to feminine, you would say ارفعي راسك. ما محرزة القصة. ارفعي راسك. ما محرزة القصة. So that's if you're talking to feminine. ارفعي راسك. ما محرزة القصة. Chin up. The whole thing is not worth it for you to be sad about it or be upset about it. And if you talk to masculine, you say ارفع راسك. ما محرزة القصة. ارفع راسك. ما محرزة القصة. Our next phrase, ولا يهمك بتصير وما حدا معصوم عن الخطأ. ولا يهمك, don't worry. بتصير, it happens. وما حدا, and no one, nobody. ما حدا, no one, nobody. معصوم, infallible. معصوم, معصوم, infallible or perfect. عن الخطأ, from the error, the mistake. عن الخطأ, from the error or the mistake. So that is if you're talking to masculine. Again, I'm going to read it. ولا يهمك بتصير وما حدا معصوم عن الخطأ. ولا يهمك بتصير وما حدا معصوم عن الخطأ. And that's if you're talking to a guy. If you're talking to a female, you would say ولا يهمك. ولا يهمك. ولا يهمك بتصير وما حدا معصوم عن الخطأ. ولا يهمك بتصير وما حدا معصوم عن الخطأ. So that would be if you're talking to feminine. And all we did here, or the difference between the masculine and the feminine, is that we changed the ending from an ek to an ek for feminine. So you see it's a recurrent theme, how to change, or what would be the difference between feminine and masculine. Our next phrase, بتهون ما في مشكلة وما إلها حل. بتهون ما في مشكلة وما إلها حل. So here there's no gender here, it's just a neutral. You could use it for both masculine or feminine. بتهون, it's okay. It doesn't matter. ما في مشكلة, there is no problem. ما في مشكلة, there is no, or there isn't a such as a problem or an issue. وما إلها, and it does not have حل, a solution. Meaning, it doesn't matter, every problem has got a solution. بتهون ما في مشكلة وما إلها حل. بتهون بتهون ما في مشكلة وما إلها حل. Our next phrase. شوف, if you're talking to a guy, شوف نص الكاسة مليانة. شوف نص الكاسة مليانة. شوف نص الكاسة مليانة. Look at the half full glass. But the overall translation means look at the bright side. شوف نص الكاسة مليانة. That's if you're talking to a guy. If you're talking to a female, a girl, you would say شوفي نص الكاسة مليانة. شوفي نص الكاسة مليانة. Our next phrase. ما خلصت الدنيا, المهم سلامتك. ما خلصت الدنيا is not the end of the world. ما خلص, which means to end or finish. ما خلصت الدنيا, the world has not ended. المهم, the most important thing. سلامتك, that you are well or safe. In some cultures, for example, here in the UK, some of you might find this patronizing rather than being helpful. But again, this is from a different culture's perspective. So people tend to use it, and it's okay. Similarly to the age topic, whereas here in Europe, nobody asks anybody, how old are you? Whereas in the Middle East, it's fine. People don't really pay attention to it or make a thing out of it as much as here in Europe. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone's 45, you cannot fake it and make it 18. That's 45. Again, different cultures, different perspective, different insight. Similar to here in this phrase, people don't really pay attention to it. But as I mentioned, in some European cultures, and for example, here in the UK, some people might find this phrase in particular patronizing. So again, just to refer to this again, in the Middle East is absolutely fine. However, here, some of you might look at it differently. So just to put that in perspective. ما خلصت الدنيا, المهم سلامتك. If you're talking to feminine. ما خلصت الدنيا, المهم سلامتك. If you're talking to a guy. So the difference between both the masculine and the feminine is the ending from an ak to an ek. So if you're talking to a female, you would say ما خلصت الدنيا, المهم سلامتك. And if you're talking to a guy, you would say ما خلصت الدنيا, المهم سلامتك. So that would be the difference between both. Great, guys. And with this, I'll end today's session. Hope you really enjoyed it and found it helpful, useful in any form or shape. And if you did, then don't forget to subscribe. And if you're feeling a bit more generous, then don't forget to support the channel to help me, to help you to make more videos for everybody. Till next time, stay safe, guys. Ma salame.